How's it going, guys? Woo! Okay, so I just got done talking with Anna. We're gonna start this here now. We've been talking for the past 30 minutes, just prepping, and it's been pretty good discussion back and forth for the most part. A little heated, but it's fun. All right, guys, this is Kingofpol here. So this video, by the way, was Male Trope. It's done by Male Trope. If you want to watch it or continue the rest of it, he's got another video on Jonathan McIntosh. It's very good if you are interested in that kind of stuff. So go check it out. What happened to my... I'll explain all that at the end of the stream. So I'm going to pull in Anna now. And then after that, I'm going to pull in Sargon right afterwards. I'll let them announce themselves and we'll go from there. We had an interesting topic about harassment. We're going to be talking about GamerGate and the women in video game trope. And more importantly, the harassment of women by GamerGate, quote unquote. And whether or not that's true or not. And finalizing up the political understandings of feminism and social constructs and all that kind of stuff with her, and then hear her side of the story. So I'm going to go ahead and pull Sargon on here now. And if you guys would like to go on KIA, 8chan, all that kind of stuff, promote this stream, this is very important. These are bridges that needed to happen for GamerGate. There's a lot of shit that's happening in GamerGate, guys. You know, there's a lot of drama that's going on. I understand that. I know that there's a lot of falling outs, and there's a lot of people trying to figure out what's going to happen, where you're going to go, what you're going to do. I think it's important that these are the kind of things that will deter us from that drama, that will deter us and push us into the progress of moving forward. And if you do care about GamerGate, you will promote these kind of things. So, okay. I'm going to get Sargon in here now.
Yo.
What up, buddy?
Yeah, well, good, man. How you doing?
I am awesome. I just got done talking with Anna here. I'm going to get her in here in a second. We did a good discussion for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cool.
All right, let me pull her in. We were talking about Jace and Brianna Wu and harassment and stuff like that. Women harassment at the time.
Right, okay.
And
Hello.
Hey!
Hey, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. We had a little bit of sound problem in the pre-interview, but hopefully we're good this time.
Yeah, we should be just fine. Now,
okay, cool.
Anna, before I even start everything, I'd like you to introduce yourself, tell who you are, what you do, and your beliefs and things, and anything like that. Anything you want to share. Anything you want to share, really. Just.
My name is Anna Merlan. I'm a reporter at Jezebel. Obviously, I'm part of the sinister social justice conspiracy, wherein lizard people try to enslave you all and make you into feminists. Sorry, I'm not. So I have been at Jezebel for about 6 months. I've been watching the GamerGate thing for a little bit longer than that. And so you and I, Brian, had a conversation a little while ago about Jace Connors and what happened with him threatening Brianna Wu and then turning out to be not a real person. And so I had agreed to come on and talk to you about that on a stream. So here we are.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I think most people know Sargon, but if you want to announce yourself, Sargon, you're more than welcome to.
You all know who I am.
Okay.
I don't need that.
All right. So I guess do you want to continue off of the Jace, and you want to jump right back into it?
Sure.
With the Jace stuff, we were talking about how a lot of people claim that it was, she should have known it was a prank and stuff, and you were talking about, well, then it should have been known that it was a hoax and not called a prank. I would say that's definitely accurate. I think that's more appropriate to say it was more of a hoax than it was a prank because they were doing this whole skit for so long and nobody knew. I mean, even the boards that were obsessed with this guy, no one knew.
Right. I think that's, and you and I were having a discussion on Twitter or whatever it was about, like how the fuck was anyone supposed to know? Right. You know what I mean? And I also think that, he wasn't, I think he was playing off sort of GamerGate's let's be nice and call it interest in Brianna Wu. You know what I mean? I think he knew that would buy him a larger audience, and he was playing off her, her fear of him, which I think sucks.
I think it was just him trying to troll and literally make it look like that was what it was. A lot of people, like I said myself, and I got a lot of crap for it, was like, here's a hospital, go here, go to the police. I mean, on air, we called the Boston State Police and said there's a car wrecked can you guys, we don't know what intersection we're trying to find on Google Maps. I mean, we kept calling and trying to get more when we had his friends on. So, I mean, it was like, we want this person turned in. GamerGate here is working with you guys to help this person and make sure that she's safe. Nobody in GamerGate wants anybody dead or harassed or anything like that. That's never the case, and that was...
I mean, what do you think the goal is? Like, what would you say GamerGate's goal is regarding, like, Brianna Wu?
You know, I'll let you explain, Sargon, because I already explained on my end with you, Anna.
None at all. She's not a journalist. Why would GamerGate have anything to do with Brianna Wu?
I mean, would you deny that GamerGate has been pretty focused on 3 women who aren't journalists? You know, Zoe Quinn is a developer, Brianna Wu is a developer, and Anita Sarkeesian is a commentator. So why is it that these 3 women have become sort of central to GamerGate's discussion about ethics in journalism? How did that happen?
Well, that's a really good question. Would you like to give me your opinion of that before I go on?
No, not really. I don't want to get sidetracked. How did that happen?
Well, it's happened because the gaming press, who are currently under accusation, and are they even under accusation at this point? It's all pretty cut and dried at this point, but they're frankly
What is
hiding.
pretty cut and dried?
Well, ethical violations.
Which ones?
Do you want a list?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Who would you like to have a list of? Should we go for Nathan Grayson?
Yeah, let's talk about Nathan Grayson, sure.
Okay. Well, what exactly do you know of Nathan Grayson?
I mean, I know that the allegation is that he wrote, a positive review of Zoe Quinn while he was dating her, but...
That's not the allegation, actually.
That was the allegation initially. Has it changed to something else?
That was not the allegation initially.
What is the allegation?
The allegation is that he gave her positive coverage, which he did, twice, at least, without disclosing any kind of conflict of interest, any kind of personal relationship. Do you think that that's appropriate for a journalist?
I mean, first of all, I would say, like, I know, obviously, like, I work in the same room with Kotaku, but I don't, like, I don't work with them. I wasn't working there at the time, but from what I can tell, Grayson, wrote, like, one half sentence about Depression Quest existing. I wouldn't count it as positive coverage. And initially, when GamerGate was starting out, I mean, I don't see it. I've never seen that. I've always, seen it represented that way.
Just to interject here, Anna, he was also credited in the credits as one of the game people. What was it again, Sargon? I can't remember what she typed it as.
Depression Quest.
No, in Depression Quest, he was accredited in Depression Quest.
Oh, he was a playtester for the game.
Yeah, he was also playtesting the game that he never announced either when he was talking about Depression Quest and following on that suit. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, can you say that this isn't a problem as a journalist?
I mean, I would really question your sort of, like, starting point, which is that Nathan Grayson gave her all this positive coverage. Like, I don't see it. I've never seen that proven. I've looked for it a few times. I do see that Patricia Hernandez at Kotaku wrote about Zoe Quinn quite a bit, but Nathan not so much.
Well,
I don't see it.
He did mention her in an article very favorably, and he also did the same Rock Paper Shotgun article.
The one that I'm seeing, the GDC, no, that is after GamerGate broke. I mean, I'm literally looking in Kotaku's archives right now, trying to find a Nathan Grayson article that's about Zoe Quinn, and I don't see it. And it hasn't been pulled down, I know that. It's just like, I feel like the starting point here, which is that, so what is the implication here, that Zoe Quinn got... No,
it's nothing to do with Zoe Quinn. It's everything to do with Nathan Grayson. Yes, really. It's everything to do with Nathan Grayson. He should not have been covering Zoe Quinn at all. He had a personal relationship with her. Are you a journalist? Have you had any...
I am a journalist. Yes, okay, I went to Columbia.
So you should understand that if you should recuse yourself from covering subjects who you have a personal interest in. Do you understand that? I mean, do you think that's correct or not?
Yeah, that is correct. I wouldn't phrase it like that. Personal interest suggests that you should recuse yourself from covering anything that you have an opinion about. But I would certainly agree that, like, after they were dating, he should not have been covering her, and my understanding is that he was not. After they had a personal relationship, he no longer wrote about her, which I think is appropriate.
I don't know if it's necessarily about them even dating. I think them just being friends should be enough for him to recuse himself. He can hardly be impartial, can he?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so I think that's interesting. But so from my perception and the perception of a lot of people is what happened was all of the harassment and all of the vitriol was focused not on Nathan Grayson, who supposedly is the person perpetrating the ethical violation here, but all of it was focused on Zoe Quinn. And it was focused
because Nathan Grayson refuses to talk.
Is that why? You don't think it's...
absolutely. No, absolutely. Ask Milo Yiannopoulos. Ask him if Nathan Grayson will talk.
I think that's interesting.
Just to let you know, he flat refuses. He flat refuses. Stephen Totilo refuses to hold him accountable for this lack of disclosure, and so the public at large are just left with a slap in the face.
Again, I don't think that is true. I do think that they, undertook a pretty serious review of his work and found...
lying, or what? I mean, I don't understand what you... There is nothing about what I've said that's factually incorrect. So I'm wondering what exactly is your interpretation of this?
My interpretation is that he stopped writing about her after he had a conflict of interest, which is appropriate. But
he was friends with her when he was writing about... Okay, well, what about Robin Arnott?
I'm sorry, who is that? Robin who?
Robin Arnott is a man that Grayson's covered, I think, about 6 or 7 times, with increasing favoritism. I think they're personal friends. And, again, Grayson hasn't disclosed that at all. But now, since GamerGate, if you look at Grayson's articles, he actually discloses when he's covering his friends, which I suppose is the bare minimum. But, I mean, do you not see... I mean, and this is just one person.
Yeah, we could go into Patricia Hernandez, and her, I mean, she literally linked to Steam pages with people she was living with. It was...
And that's just at Kotaku.
Okay, so the idea here, it sounds like, is that because of GamerGate, you guys... And this is the claim I've heard repeatedly, is that because of GamerGate, you've made the games journalism industry more ethical, better about disclosing what might be perceived as conflicts of interest. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Categorically.
And so how do you explain the sort of increasing harassment of people like Anita Sarkeesian and Brianna Wu? Like, how did that happen? Why have they become, the objects of so much controversy?
Because the gaming press will let them be.
What?
Because the gaming press will let them be.
What does that mean?
Brianna Wu, as you said, is a developer. So why is she involved with any of this? Brianna Wu has been playing the professional victim all over Twitter. She has been playing the professional victim all over the media. And it is much more in the favour of the games journalists to let her do this and help her along her way, because it distracts the public and everyone from the actual issues we want to talk about.
What actually happened is Brianna Wu created that oppressed GamerGator meme, essentially, and the next day she got doxxed.
Well, hold on, I have to interrupt.
Pretty much the next day there was a cavalcade of shit about her, and it's never stopped.
And I have to interrupt. That meme was a joke against people who are autistic. I don't even have to get into how messed up that was to begin with. And following it, that dox was taken down almost immediately, and it was sage-bombed by that thread, by people saying, get us off our board, we don't want this on the board. And that followed with the rules of no more doxing, which created other boards that wanted to do that stuff. That was not GamerGate. That's what I was telling you.
Exactly, so is the claim still that, like, 8chan isn't... I'm sorry to interrupt. Is the claim still that 8chan isn't linked to GamerGate, that they have nothing to do with each other?
No, 8chan is its own thing. They only host boards. That has nothing to do with GamerGate. If there's a GamerGate board there, that is it. But they have nothing to do with any of that. The only times that Hot Wheels, the owner, stepped in of 8chan is when Brianna Wu would claim that 8chan is this or claim that 8chan is that, to correct that. He's made statements to show, and he's come on camera before to show that, saying, no, that is not what we are about. We have been here 2 years prior to this board being created and this hashtag being trending.